Man, a ton of action here happening over the weekend, and just
Mhm.
over the last week in crypto. I mean, there's just so much going on, so much happening, but it keeps things exciting, keeps things fresh, keeps us on our toes, right? So happy to be here with you guys. I guess what would you say is the best way to kind of start off here, Dom? Would
Sure.
you like to begin?
Well, let's just kick this off. We've had MetaDAO on before, or Profit from MetaDAO on before, but Umbra was in the midst of the raise, I believe, when we had
Hmm.
Profit on, or maybe they had just finished raising right around $150 million was committed. You guys did not take the whole thing. So crew, maybe like I just want to get into the thought process here as your raise was live. You guys had a ton of money committed. Like, what were you thinking, and
Mhm.
why did you guys decide to only keep, what was that, 4 million, I believe,
Yeah, it was 3 million.
3 million.
Uh, and yeah, like I'm I'm trying to kind of set in a good culture here at the team, and we never intended to kind of raise more than $3 million. That number was already set in our minds even before the raise began. Um, I mean, we didn't expect the contributions to go up to 155 million. Like it was just beyond us. But yeah, like there was nowhere in this time that we had an intention to go beyond the 3 million mark. That's what we need for the next 2 years, and that's enough for us to build a nice product.
You had an Ansem tweet there early on when you guys started the raise. Had
Yeah.
you been in contact with Ansem, or were you expecting this amount of outpouring from the community?
No, never had a chat with Ansem ever. Um, in fact, even after he retweeted or mentioned us, I don't think so I've ever been in touch with him. I mean, it was insane to see. For me, I just had my phone shut for the next, like, during the days. The only time I answered questions were in the group chat with Prophet and the rest of the few tards, but that's it.
Love it, dude. I love it. We're the goal of this show is to get everything on the table, right? We want to learn about Umbra. We want to make sure everyone's squared away with what you guys are working on. So, crew, we're,
Right.
we're just gonna start with a little bit on you. What's your background?
Uh-huh.
What brought you into developing Umbra, and how do we get here?
Right. You want the long story or the short one?
Give me the middle. Can we do that?
All right, perfect. Cool. So, by education, I'm a car designer. All right. COVID hit, and I just decided to move towards designing products and managing products. So back in 2022, I joined Super Team. I don't know if you are aware about what Super Team is. It's an organization that helps folks on board over Solana and build products there. So I joined there, and ever since then, I've been contributing to this space. Um, in Feb, I just had this idea that okay, I'm mature enough to build something now, and I just did not want to build something really small like a Telegram bot or something. Instead, just hit a bigger narrative, think about a bigger product, and the narrative that we decided to build on was privacy. Later on, I just kind of read a few blogs from Prophet, and in one of his blogs, he had mentioned that uh, crypto is just better than TradFi in all different ways. Like it's 24/7, it's fast, it's easy to use, but the only thing that's missing is privacy, and that's where kind of the narrative in my head fit in. And yeah, Amra just started through this little idea that we had.
Love it. Well, let's get an idea of what Umbra is. It's obviously a privacy protocol. What are your focuses
Right.
there? How are you setting yourself apart?
Right. So even privacy has like a lot of different words that you can define it by. Some people say it's confidential. However, we kind of focus on the word anonymity. Confidentiality means that you hide the what, and what is the token and the number, but anonymity means that you hide the who, which is you, like, or the user. And that's what separates Umbra from the other privacy protocols. And the other thing that we're trying to build is on the concept of privacy 2.0, which is making privacy composable. uh, what earlier projects like Monero, Zcash, or any other protocol that you know of built was Privacy 1.0. They existed in silos, different from an existing chain. They were all separate chains altogether. What we're trying to do is just build like an anonymity layer over Solana so that any protocol, any project could just integrate privacy with them.
So the way I look at it is crypto really started as, Prophet even has the mask, right? He wears the mask.
Yeah.
It started as a big anonymous thing, right? You could be any dev from anywhere and just be anonymous.
Mhm.
And I feel like we kind of ventured out of that for a while to where, you start having people docs and crypto people wanted more in the sense of like who you could track, what you could see. Why is privacy so important? And do you think we're kind of steering back in that direction with crypto or?
Well, I think as more and more people join this revolution that we have, which is crypto, I think the demand for privacy is just going to go up. No business or no individual uh, at the end would like to reveal what they do financially, what their choices are, what the trades they make, or what their net worth is. And it's just good to see that privacy is back in trend, and uh, I'm just loving the fact that it is.
I guess a question that I have, kind of more so for Profit, because you
Mhm.
mentioned that you kind of read you read a few blogs, and Profit just kind of recognized that privacy there's a privacy solution that's missing in our industry.
Mhm.
So I guess the question I have for Profit is more so, where did you come in? Where did you kind of get introduced to Umbra, and did it kind of solve uh, that privacy issue that you highlighted in your blogs?
Sure. Well, I think there's kind of like two angles to privacy. One is the longer term one that Crew is mentioning, where like, yeah, obviously if Solana is going to be the future financial system, then we're going to need privacy insofar as like if I send you USDC, like say you're like a store and I'm like at your store and I buy something and I send you USDC, and then you can like pull up all of my assets and whatnot, like that's obviously going to be an issue. But I would say, like for me, the compelling thing about like why I wanted to work with Umbra is actually the short term privacy reason. Like, why is privacy important right now today? Which is, um, so I was talking to like one of the more prominent app builders on Solana, and he was telling me about like an app that he built that's kind of worked out in some ways, but not in others. And he told me that it's like a social trading app. He told me that all the top traders on the app actually dislikes the social aspect. They wanted actually their swaps to be private because they were like currently getting front run, where like people would see that they were entering or exiting a position, and they would like, yeah, sell in front of them if they were selling, or like buy in front of them if they were buying, which was leading to them getting worse execution. And so like to me, that is the kind of short term, like why this I think has a decent shot of getting PMF. Is just like big traders want to make trades without having that exposed to the world and have like worse execution.
And with that privacy focus in mind, we kind of see privacy becoming a narrative outside of just crypto, or outside of just our little bubble on Twitter. We saw, I believe it was last week or the week before, the founder of Telegram put out this mass message on his 41st birthday about how privacy and freedom is under attack. And even if you were to like pull up the Telegram app, it still had that message on there as well. So, I mean, whether Profit or Crew, either one of you guys can answer this, but is that something that kind of spoke to you guys in any kind of way? Is that something that added to your interest or motivations behind building in privacy, or wanting to push that narrative forward? What was your reaction to that?
Okay, I can go. Uh, Funny story, actually. I started thinking of Umbra because I wanted to build it for myself. Um, I mean, I'm usually trading meme coins, And one fine morning, one of my friends just called up and just told me that, hey, we are tracking your wallets and we saw you, trading a specific meme coin. And the group chat just erupted after that, and they were just like shaming me on it. And I just had this
Can you say
idea
the
that
name? Can you say the name
nah,
of the meme coin?
nah,
Okay, so maybe some
I'm not
shame was
giving them
due.
any attention. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. But again, like beyond the humor of avoiding my eavesdroppy friends, right? So I think it's a fundamental human right. It's about protecting who we are, what our personal interests are, what our net worth is, and what our trading strategies are. Like we are kind of living in a world where we are constantly being monitored. Uh, each click is basically a data point, and having control of our own privacy helps us to maintain our freedom and security. That's why like privacy isn't just a feature; it's a crucial narrative that we kind of all need to embrace going forwards.
So it sounds like Umra is really starting with these anonymous swaps, and you're at like ground level here of what you're building. What does that look like? Like, what's the grandiose vision here of how deep does privacy go?
Right. So yeah, so we're starting with the ground level features that we have. We start with private transfers, and now we are building private swaps. The entire idea or the vision for Umbra is to be like an incognito mode for Solana. Like privacy should be inbuilt by default, but it should be your choice whether you want to be you know private or not. And it sits just in the middle of the user and the blockchain, and anyone should have the right to kind of use it, and people should be able to build over it. That's the idea.
So what does that look like when you say build over it? Is it like again on this grandiose vision kind of thing? Every
Mhm.
platform kind of integrating this SDK into it so that they can have private swaps through, say, Axiom or Photon or whatever
Right,
it might be.
right. So the next product that we're releasing is the SDK, and it's just 5 lines of code that anyone can just integrate in their existing product, and they would be able to integrate privacy into it. So we're just building towards it, and eventually hope it becomes the privacy layer for Solana.
What does it look like to make that happen? Because it takes two things, right? It takes obviously a great product, and then some level of
Mhm.
BD, just getting it implemented in all these systems. Where are you? What are you looking at from that angle? Have you started the BD yet? Or are you full fledged product focused right now?
Right now, I'm product focused at least for the next couple of weeks. But the most important idea going forwards for me is going to be compliance, right? Privacy already is put in a bad spotlight, I'd say. And in order for us to kind of make it acceptable for everyone, I think compliance plays a huge role. And that's what I'm trying to build apart from just, focusing on the Umbra wallet and the SDK. That's something that we need to focus on so that uh, majority of the protocols do not have to kind of focus on this legal aspect of things. And the more compliant we are, the better it is for protocols to integrate Umbra. And once I'm just really confident about this, the biz dev work starts.
Where are the pain points right now in compliance? What are the biggest pain points? Because we know we've had the SEC constantly deem things securities, and now we're
Right.
moving in a different financial, a different space regulatory wise. Where are the biggest pain points that you're seeing then from this?
Right. So, well, usually compliance lies in a pretty gray area. Like most of these countries do not have any set regulations about what blockchains are and how it works. And usually, it should be our duty to kind of make it really clear for our users that it's safe to use and there won't be any legal trouble that they fall into while using the product. And the clearer we are, the better the product gets. So I think, yeah, that's the thing that we're looking at right now. That uh, compliance should be like really clear and upfront for users, and that's something that's really important.
And what does the team look like? Who's working on this? Obviously, you have a $3 million war chest now. I
Right.
guess what does it come to when it comes to hiring, onboarding? Who's working on this, and maybe some expendables
Right.
there? What are your plans with that 3 million?
Right. So we were a team of 4 until today. It was just me who's focusing on the product, and 3 other devs. And now we just added Abbas, who used to work at MetaDAO and now is working with us. Uh, and he's gonna help us in growth and BD and uh, give us an idea of how to govern Umbra better.
And did he come? What did he do at MetaDAO? Was he in
Uh,
BD there as well?
Profit.
Yes, he was the one who introduced me to Crew and Rom from Avicii.
Wow, there you
Yeah.
go, natural fit.
Yeah, so a story about Abbas is that he introduced me to what Solana and Super Team is back in 2022. I was like this kid who was just looking at, people who would teach me about what crypto is and what these ecosystems are. And he had this event in Mumbai that I went to, and ever since then I've been, being mentored by Abbas, and it's like a circle of life that's completed. That now we are working together at Umbra, so it's good to see.
Which super team are you part of?
Super Team India.
Nice, super team. Yeah, super team rocks. Solana's done so great on that front, just creating that. Like Ethereum needs something like that, so that's awesome. Chill, I saw you unmuted.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep cooking.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about obviously MetaDAO in and of itself. It has just been a concept we're fascinated with. We've been talking about. We've debated if it's something for everybody, if every founder is good for MetaDAO. Obviously, token holders have a ton of control here in this case. I guess, Crew, let me just get your thoughts from that perspective. How does that balance work, right? How's the balancing act of like you trying to be a founder, trying to lead with your own ideas, but also, complying with something that all the token holders are going to want ultimately?
Yes, I said this to Colin the other day that I used to sleep better before the token was out. But now that I think of it, I think the vision has to be long term, and I am trying to detach. In my mind, I'm just trying to detach the idea of it being a product on crypto to something that's like really. I just treat all the token holders as basically owners of Umbra. And the more I look at things from that perspective, it gives me a better idea on how to deal with things at Umbra. Think on a longer term, uh, learn more from the community, and keep the focus on the product.
Yeah, you have a really dense cap table is like a kind of a way to look at it. What are some ideas you have when it comes to token integration? Obviously, you have to make some proposals at some point, and the people
Right.
will decide what they want. What are some ideas on token integration you're leaning towards, or just putting that into use?
Yeah. So as of now, the idea is that they are ownership tokens, and I think Profit could give you a much better answer to it. But on a I think on 2 different levels. I think one is the way that my job is to just focus on the product itself, okay, and let the community figure out how Umbra will be governed. If I have any bigger questions to ask about, uh, oh, should the tokens be sold or not, or should we give away equity using OTC or so on and so forth. Just the proposals like Profit and the guys at MetaDAO have done. I think those would be our first, proposals as well. But highly, our focus as a team would be on the product.
Yeah,
Have-
can I just add something to that real quick, which is
Please.
that I think token integrations, like this idea of needing utility, is kind of a facet of the token itself being pretty fundamentally worthless. And so like
Mhm.
people need to see some like they need to see something that proves that like, okay, if the product does well, then the token also does well. And so this has
Mm-hmm.
led to like a lot of really poor product UX. Like, like crypto.com, they like integrate their token where I think depending on how many tokens you own, it like decides what level of credit card you can get, for example.
Mhm.
And yeah, in my view, this is like a distraction for a lot of founders. And so we tell people like, you don't need to integrate your token because it's an ownership token. And like, I mean, it would be pretty crazy if like NVIDIA made it so you had to like use NVIDIA stock to buy their GPUs, right? Like, why do we have to do that with tokens?
No, yeah. Look, I hear you. At some point though, I guess, I hope maybe, token holders are going to come to collect, right? On some extent. And I'm trying to gauge what that'll look like here down the road. And again, we just had this conversation with 11 a.m. where it's like startups shouldn't be giving a bunch of money in dividends or like into a flywheel, right? They should be building a product. And then ultimately that will yield hopefully good returns in the future. So what happens when the holders, the cap table, as you want to call it, kind of comes calling to collect, to start seeing some returns rather than just token go up?
I
Sure.
think the
So I think,
biggest example. Okay, go
could
on,
I, could
Prophet.
I start on this? Because, yeah, so like legally, Crew and Umbra needs to put the revenue into the treasury. Like the revenue needs to be all owned by the project. And yeah, at some point, like imagine a scenario where Umbra has like $50 million in the treasury, right? Maybe they're like a mature business. Then someone could theoretically propose buybacks or dividends, and the market, like decision markets, would decide whether or not they pass or not. With the logic being based on like with normal startups, like is the money better reinvested in the business or not, right? Like actually buybacks are not always bullish, right? If the money can be better reinvested in the business, it's actually can be detrimental to the token value or token price to do buybacks. And so basically it's just like, is this business mature enough where like it starts to make sense to redistribute capital?
And Crew, I know we know you had a take as well. Feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna give you an example of Flash Trade and what they did with their revenue split. I think even Prophet would agree to it that that's like the best example for what would happen with a longer term vision where we kind of have a revenue split or a dividend
Can you
given
conceptualize that
to.
for us? What does that look like? I'm sure the audience is not fully aware.
Oh, right. So just like Prophet said, all the revenue would go into the treasury, flow into the treasury itself, and later down the line, Umbra would propose a revenue split between the token holders and the Umbra team. For what the Flash Trade team did was do a 50-50 split. So the revenue, 50% of it went to the community and the rest of it went to the team.
I guess, wait, so Profit, I would actually love to kind of loop this in because you guys just got a super incredible investment from Six Man Ventures here. I guess this would be a good example that I could maybe tie into this question. You guys got, let's see, they bought 1.5 million of Meta at a $6.35 value. So this 1.5 million fully went into the MetaDAO treasury. Am I getting that right?
Correct.
Okay. And now from there, it's on community and yourself to raise proposals to use this in the right direction, right?
I'm probably not going to raise proposals. I mean, we have like a burn rate that we're authorized to spend, and so I mean, yeah, we may increase our burn rate, but right now I think we're just going to continue to operate the business.
Okay, cool. Well, I had to loop that in because I think it's a great example as to what Crew kind of touching on and just the idea of these ownership tokens. So yeah, didn't mean to cut that off, but
No, you're good. And real quick, Crew, one thing I wanted to ask about, I'm not sure how Flash Trade did it. Is it like a stake to earn the revenue, like as a dividend, or is it just kind of like just airdrop to token holders? Like, how would that actually look like for a token holder?
I think it was an airdrop token
No,
to
in Flash Trade they do stake to earn.
um
So yeah, they originally raised the proposal to do this through MetaDAO, so people traded on whether or not it'd be good for FAF token,
mhm.
their native token, if they did this, and then yeah, now you can stake your FAF tokens to get a 50% of the Flash Trade protocol revenue.
That's awesome. That's awesome because we've seen like several different ways of like these kind of fee splits working. So I think this is really nice. Now I think I think Josh had a question around the SDK. Did we ever get to that, Dom? I don't think we did because uh, can you give us a little bit of information around that, crew, just to kind of switch gears just briefly, going to talking about the product. Just tell us a little bit about the SDK, how it
Right.
works, and kind of when it'll
Mhm.
be available.
All right. So right now we have a B2C offering to the Umbra users, which is an Umbra wallet. What you can do through this wallet is just transfer money privately, but it's just through a single wallet, right? And we want, if we want to become the privacy layer for Solana, it has to be available everywhere. And that's the reason why we are offering our B2B product, which is the Umbra SDK. What it does is it's just 5 to 6 lines of code that any project can integrate in themselves into this unified anonymity pool that we have and reap the benefits of what Umbra does, which is build a privacy layer for Solana. And right now we're in the process of just building it out. You can have it in the next 2 or 3 weeks at max once we go live on the mainnet.
So, crew, I'll kind of pivot here. Privacy it's highly competitive right now. A lot of people are trying to do it.
Right.
You just said, you intend to be the privacy layer for Solana. How do you outcompete and beat out the competition? What do you guys do differently in this case?
Yeah, like I said, that most of these privacy protocols, that what they're trying to do is become confidential. Okay, confidentiality is a subset of being anonymous, right? What we're doing here with Umbra is giving you layers of privacy. One, you can be completely anonymous. One, by saying that you can hide yourself completely, not reveal who you are. But here you can also decide on hiding a single aspect of a transfer. It could be hiding just your wallet or hiding the token that you're sending or the amount of the token that you're sending. All of this is completely possible on Umbra. So
Without
it's
and
just
without getting
uh-huh.
into too much technicalities there, because our
Mhm.
audience is not going to understand. We're not going to understand. How does that even work? How do you guys manage to do that?
Well, I'm just gonna keep it real simple here, but it's a mix of ZK and MPC. MPC is multi-party computation, and that infrastructure is being built by Arcium. So Arcium is just providing the infrastructure layer, and we are trying to make it into a product, which is Umbra.
Got you. Got you. I think we covered a lot on team, vision, what you're building. I think the best natural thing to ask next is what's to come? What are you most excited about? Kind of give us an idea on the roadmap. We talked about
Yeah.
SDK. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right. So 10 days after the ICO was done, we just got back into the office. The hiring is completely done. We are set for with the team for the next 6 to 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. What's next is getting the code base ready for audits. These audits usually take somewhere around 2 to 4 weeks to be done. Uh, so as soon as the audits are done, we can go live on the mainnet, which would be anywhere around mid-November. By that time, we will have private swaps, the Zcash bridge completely available for the users to use. And later on, we go live with the SDK. So that's our roadmap going forwards in the next 3 months.
Very cool. It might be a difficult question to answer here, the one I'm about to ask. But as a
Yeah.
founder, what does your day to day look like right now? Like you just came off the hottest raise in crypto. Everyone's talking about Umbra. You must be all over the place. What does your day look like right now?
Yeah, the last week has been completely different from what I used to do in crypto. Most of my time were just spent building the product out, but nowadays I'm just, on every podcast or every Twitter space that I could be a part of, just
Talking
talking about
money.
Umbra. Yeah. Now I wish to go back to my original life where I could just sit inside a cave and build Umbra to its best capacity that it can be. And that's what I'm going to do. I think this should be one of the last podcasts or streams that I'm a part of. And now from now on, it's just head down and push to the mainnet.
Dev mode, baby. I love it. Is Umbra still pre-revenue, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's pre-revenue. We're just
Pre-revenue.
live on the dev now.
Okay, cool. How many users have you seen come on here? What has the impact kind of looked like since the raise?
Yeah. So pre ICO, there were around 2,600 users that we had. And what we did is we just uh, released the access in cohorts. We had like 7 cohorts of around 500 or 300 people. And after that, the user base like almost doubled with a retention rate of like 94%. So it's been good to see so far, and I hope that the support stays on until the product is live.
Boom. I think you pretty much tied that together beautifully. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to cover. Crew, if there's anything you want to leave us with or you want to mention that people should know, I think now would be your chance. But I think we're pretty good unless Josh wants to hop in or Chill's got something. Or Profit.
I think I'm good. I think we went through a lot of great details about the product. I think what you're building is really awesome. Last little question I would want to ask real quick. We know that you're kind of building out the SDK, this B2B product. Have you kind of put your feelers out there as far as, you know, anyone that would be interested in integrating the SDK? Have you seen any interest on that side?
Right. So the idea of the SDK was actually given to us by the people who wanted it. So it was a requested feature for us, a requested, product for us from the community. And since our Discord opened up or our Twitter DMs were opened up, that's one of the main requests that we have had from the entire community on Solana. So we just said, okay, let's build it out, and that's what we're doing now.
Nice. I mean, it's always good to see that you know, the community has such a
Yeah.
great you know, sway on what you guys are building. I mean, this is a highly requested, so you know, we're definitely excited to see you know, what you guys are coming out with here over the next couple months and weeks and months as you go back into dev mode officially. So no, crew, we appreciate you coming on today. It was great having you, great talking about Umbra, and just again excited to see what you guys build out here going into the future.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Profit, for just giving me this huge opportunity with the ICO.
Yeah.
Super, and for
Thanks for
everybody.
trusting us.
Crew, we have a chat open. We'll be in contact, man. Anything you need, you know, you got MCG. So anytime you want to come back on too, once you get this SDK done, once some things are in motion, let's get you back on and we can run some
Drop it
demos,
live
test
on
it live.
stream.
That's right.
100%. I'm here anytime.
You're the man.
Thank
Crew.
you so
Thanks.
much, guys.
Peace.
Take care, guys.
Profit, we got a few minutes before Avicii, man. There's a lot of motion going on with MetaDAO. I think I just want to run through some of that and cover it. Any just opening thoughts here? How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I mean, I've been like a token founder, which I think is different than being like another founder, just from the like ups and downs psychologically, for almost 2 years at this point. And so it doesn't really affect me that much anymore.
That makes sense. Well, you guys just got a huge investment from Six Man Ventures. But before we get to that, I'll actually tab to this real quick. See if Josh, is there a way to pull that up?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Cool. Yeah, so this is a tweet I saw. And I've got a couple tweets to just go through because everything on my feed right now is MetaDAO. And so I'm like, let me save these and we can address it with Profit here. But Dan Smith put out a tweet. He said MetaDAO generated over $350K in revenue from its new iteration of ownership token ICO. It monetizes token launches from fees. You know, and he puts it out a whole tweet. Obviously, I'm assuming revenue is going to your treasury, like you guys have mentioned. like just how do you feel, I guess, about this revenue ramping up? What are your projections? Do you see it kind of continuing like this? You have a lot of people in the pipeline looking to launch, which I can also, I guess, tab over to the MetaDAO page and just show what you got coming. But I don't know, maybe talk about how you went from 0 to 100 with this revenue, because you guys are crushing.
Thanks. I mean, yeah, I feel good about that number. I mean, I think it's very hard to make projections because it's like it's all very tied to trading. So it's like tied to the project we launch, which like is power law, right? Umbra did, I think, like 3 to 4x the volume that Avicii did, and it's just very tied to the market as a whole. So it's like hard to make projections. But my only real thought on that right now is actually I think I want to increase fees. So today we take 25 bips on taker fees. So like anytime you buy, say, Umbra or Avicii, 50 or 25, 0.25% of what you swap in or swap out is going to MetaDAO. I think I probably want to double that to 0.5%. So yeah, that's my only thought today.
Is that going to be like a proposal to the community, like, and going to be decided on that way?
Candidly, I don't know yet. I think we're still figuring out like what needs to be a proposal. I don't think this needs to be a proposal. It might be kind of nice to have like this idea of people publicly have supported this, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, as for the fee thing, I forget who I was speaking to the other day, but someone was like, yeah, no one wants to pay, like, believes got the 2% in, 2% out fee. And I'm like, honestly, guys, I don't think increasing trading fees is a big deal at all, because look, everyone's trading with Axiom or Photon. They're paying 1% on each transaction just from that. So raising to, half a percentage on your transactions in and out, I'm assuming it wouldn't be transfer transactions. But like, I feel like 0.5% is completely reasonable. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I do think so. Like, yes, Photon and Axiom and all these guys take around 1% and Pump Fund as well. I do think my swapper is slightly different in that, like, there are also liquid funds that are buying and selling these tokens,
Yeah.
and they are more price sensitive. I wish I could charge as much as them, but I don't think I can. At least if I want to attract these people, and so hence 0.5%. I mean, maybe it can be set 0.75. I don't think it can be 1% though. I think that's too high.
This makes sense. I actually didn't even think about that angle. And we got Avicii coming on soon, but we have to touch on this right here. You raise this proposal, sell up to 2 million at market price or premium. A previous proposal by DBA. The previous proposal did not pass. But this one, you got it done with 6-man ventures, obviously massive players in the game. Can you just kind of tell us about your relationship with them, how that conversation went between you guys, and I guess going forward, what's that working relationship look like now that they have, 1.5 million Meta?
And maybe even start as well, just kind of for the audience, for those who might not be familiar with 6-man ventures, just kind of who they are, and as you're answering that as well.
Sure. So 6-man Ventures is a crypto venture fund. They were seed investors in Pump Fund, I believe, or at least very early investors in Pump Fund. And so Bobby, he goes by, I think, Compo Capital on Twitter. He kind of heads up their liquid side. Yeah, heck, that guy. And we were going back and forth on DMs because he was pretty interested in MetaDAO. And then basically said, yeah, like, I think that we would be interested in the liquid portion of the proposal. Because, yeah, so we'd raised this proposal to sell up to 2 million tokens, up to 2 million tokens to investors. And so, we just executed the trade basically on Saturday and then announced it yesterday.
Let's circle back, because not a lot of projects or launch pads, I should say, have liquid funds actually interested in them. Why do you think that interest is arising for MetaDAO? Is it because you have this ownership token? You have more control over the token, more control over the business? Like, what do you think attributes to the interest here?
Yeah, so him, I mean, he just says basically you've created tokens that I can bid, because if you look at pretty much all these tokens today, like the ICM tokens, they're very hard to bid because they depend on the benevolence of the founder to actually accrue value, and that's hard. justify, right? Like, imagine as an investor going to your boss and being like, hey, we're like buying this coin. It doesn't really have any value but like the founder may decide to give it some value in the future. That's like a tough sell. And here, because they're ownership coins and there's the legal structuring and the governance aspect, that's much harder. And so I think for him, it's like, yeah, he sees this as like real ICM.
Got you. Let me tab over to another post because I had a reply on this. We saw a poll was done on Twitter the other day, and it was founder of Send AI. Let me see if I can find this exact one. I forget. Okay, I don't have the exact tweet, but it was a proposal on where you should launch or where do founders want to launch.
It's linked, by the way, just like right on the right side of your screen.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, there you go. So you got Yash, who's also coming on the show next week. That might be a little spoiler, but he said, if you're a founder looking to directly fair launch a token on DEX, the ICM way, no VC allocation, where would you go? Where would you go? Right. And so you got Pump on 20%, MetaDAO. You guys ended up taking 50% there. You weren't satisfied. You wanted 90%, right? You said, how do I get this number up to 90%? And I guess my pushback there would be like, MetaDAO actually requires founders to like prioritize holders rather than Pump Fund, rather than Believe right now. If I was a founder, and maybe if I'm a founder with ill intent per se, but if I'm a founder, I can go and launch on Pump Fund and Believe and have no commitments whatsoever, right? No commitments whatsoever. What would you say about and so like that's why I said, hey, in this case, this is why MetaDAO doesn't have 90%. It's because there are founders that maybe are bad actors or don't actually want to commit this much. So they'll go to these other platforms so they don't have to. What do you say to that? Like, what do you say to maybe MetaDAO not fitting every founder or not being the right fit for every founder? I don't know. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I guess, yeah, you're saying like maybe you don't want to get to 90% because like some of these people are bad, right?
Well, like I don't think it will get to 90% because not every founder actually wants to put that type of commitment towards a token.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're saying. I think is it that you're saying like, is MetaDAO in its current form like a fit for every founder? Like in terms like from a commitment point of view? Is that what you're kind of saying now?
That's partially what I was saying. I guess I was also more so just making a statement to like, how do I get this number to 90%? I'm like, well, that number is, at least in the current state of things, probably not going to get to 90% for a while because there are so many founders that don't actually want to prioritize holders. And so like part of it was just a statement to talk about this tweet here. The other part was saying, do you really want that to get to 90%? Do you really want every founder to just launch on MetaDAO? Do you think it's even the right fit for every founder? Maybe just thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, do you think like, well, I wanted to ask, yeah, like, why would you not want to, like, what does prioritize your token holders look like to you? Because I know you also said Believe, right, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, what specifically would turn you off?
As a founder?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I would if I founded a project or a company on here, it wouldn't turn me off, right? I would actually have a commitment to the holders. But I'm saying if I'm generally a founder, I could go to launch on Believe right now or Pump Fund and have zero commitment. Like if I just got tired of something, I could just leave and like there's really nothing anyone can do, right? I could just rug essentially. With MetaDAO, you can't do that. So there's like a lot of founders out there that are maybe half in, half out. They don't want to commit to a token. And in that case, it's unlikely they launch on MetaDAO because, you actually require them to be generally like stand-up people and put token holders first.
Yeah, which is that is true. So like maybe in today's landscape, we don't get to 90%. But yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of a nice thing as well, right? Because like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want those projects launching. It's also, it's kind of nice when people reach out to me. Like normally the huge problem with launch pads, historically, like ICO launch pads, not even just this current cycle, if you go back to like 2018, 2021, is basically bad teams coming and then just taking the money. And when a team reaches out to me, I can kind of know, at least if they understand the system at a basic level, that they're probably not one of those, because if they were, they wouldn't come to me, because they wouldn't be able to like, there's not a way where you can launch on MetaDAO and just like walk away with a bunch of money. It's not really possible. or it's at least very hard to do. So yeah.
Okay, sweet. No, I think I didn't mean to sound like I was giving a bunch of pushback on that. Actually, I love the MetaDAO model. I love how it's actually making founders kind of commit to what they're doing. But that was my only pushback on that.